morning. I'm Frank Powers, and this is Lifestyle Tucson, the program where I speak to our neighbors, the people behind the scenes of our amazing organizations, small businesses, and nonprofits. Our friends are informing you how they serve our community, and they are here to give you updates on future projects. So let's make some new friends today. And we are making some new friends today, literally, because today on Lifestyle Tucson, we're making new friends with Cody. Cody who, you ask? Cody, the fifth grader who was inspired by that famous JFK quote from his inaugural address, "Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country." A call to action for the public to do what is right for the greater good. Inspired, Cody got to asking, and he started by asking his mom. He asked if they could start a charity. They made flyers and posters. They hit the streets and passed them out in the neighborhood in his mom's minivan. And as Cody grew up past 8th grade and into high school, picking up donations from people's front porches and delivering them to animal rescue groups and to people in need. Now, 13 years later, Cody's Friends is a lifesaver to pets and their people living in poverty. And today, I'm fortunate enough to speak with Amber Allen, Executive Director of Cody's Friends. Amber, welcome to Lifestyle Tucson.
Well, thank you, Frank. We appreciate you having us.
Heck yeah. So let me ask you this question. First question, hard-hitting. Where's Cody?
Well, Cody's a full-time student at the University of Arizona,
Yay.
And he's in the College of Nursing.
That's fantastic. I was going to ask, is Cody real? And what did he go to college for?
He is real, Frank.
Heck yeah, that's fantastic. It's amazing because I read on your website what you're all about and how things got started when he was in 5th grade in 2010. So I was just doing some of the math, and I'm like, oh, this young man's all grown up now, and this organization has been thriving ever since. That's an amazing feat. So I gave a little bit of that history on how things started. Why don't you tell me a bit of what Cody's Friends is all about today?
So, you know, Frank, Cody's Friends started really grassroots, and actually we still are. But now Cody's Friends is a 501c3. In 2022, we distributed over 1.5 million pounds of pet food and critical pet supplies to people in need with pets in southern Arizona.
That's incredible.
Thank you. So we have two different roles in southern Arizona. So we are a Arizona ambassador for Greater Good Charities.
So greatergood.org, I saw this on your website. Greatergood.org made Cody's Friends one of the only 24 Rescue Bank affiliates in the United States. Greater Good Charities has invested more than $575 million in impact, including cash grants, in-kind supplies, and programming support to charity partners like yourself. And that's a big deal. What has this meant for your organization?
Well, they call it the GOODS program now. And so what that program does is sends in pet food, donated pet food to Cody's Friends, and then we distribute it to pre-approved animal rescue groups and shelters in the state of Arizona. Mm-hmm. There's over 100 of those that depend on that pet food that comes into Cody's Friends from Greater Good. So that's we were honored to receive that title, if you will, 8 years ago, and we've continued with that program.
That's huge. And people themselves can donate. You have a bunch of donation stations because you partnered up with small businesses all over town. There's over 40 places that people can donate here in Tucson alone, or?
Well, so not to confuse this, the Greater Good, or being that ambassador of Greater Good Charities, is one role that we have in Southern Arizona. The second is our Community Pets program.
Yes.
And that Community Pets program is what serves the people in need with pets.
Okay.
Unlike Greater Good, that food is specifically earmarked for the rescue groups and shelters like PAC and that. Our other arm is the Community Pets program. Mm-hmm. So, yes, you're correct. We have 48 Cody's donation stations out. If people want to go to our website, they can see where those are. And what in those boxes, you can leave pet food, you can leave used and new pet supplies, and then we distribute those directly to people in need.
That's amazing. You're helping individuals and you're helping organizations. One of my favorite things on Lifestyle Tucson is meeting these organizations that help other organizations, like the Centurions helping Angel Children for Charity. It's really important that you have some of these bigger groups able to help some of the smaller groups that are still then able to help other groups. That is how the dominoes fall in the right direction. But then also you're doing the other part where anyone in town can help out anyone else just by donating themselves at any of these locations. And yes, the list is available over at CODY'SFriends.org. You can see all of these donation stations. There's probably one right around the corner from your house. You might not even know it. What if somebody is a small business owner or might know a small business owner that wants to have one of these donation stations added?
All they have to do is contact us. They can contact us through our website. They can contact us through Cody's Friends Charity Facebook page. And we will get a box right out to them, and then we promote them. We promote them on our website. We promote them, on Facebook, and we definitely want to give back and let people know where they can go to leave their donations, because at the end of the day, we have so many people in need that come to Cody's Friends. Plus, we serve 48 human service agencies that come there who serve people in need. And, Frank, we'll have people that come to Cody's Friends with a rope tied around their dog's neck. So that used leash, that used collar that may be hanging up in your carport, it has a second life.
Yeah.
Those toys, they may not, your dogs may be done with them, but when you bring them to Cody's Friends every Wednesday morning on our front porch when we distribute pet food, we have a toy box. And those dogs come and they dig. It's like, it's like their birthday. They walk out of there with their favorite toy.
Everyone loves getting a new toy.
Everyone's getting a new used toy.
That's right. It's new to you.
That's right.
And again, some of you pet parents out there, you spoil these pets. You got so many extra dog toys laying around. What are you thinking? All right? You got to help out these other dogs. Some of these homeless pets, which is some of the people that you do help.
Yes.
Unfortunately, and I mean, maybe it does say something about the state of man, some people are willing to starve and feed their pets before themselves. I read that on your website, and that's really important, that you're helping out these individuals that are really so dire, in need, living on the streets.
Yeah, you know what, Frank? You're absolutely right, and it is people living on the street. But honestly, there are many families that are on the verge of that very thing that have been evicted very recently, because Cody's Friends provides pet food and supplies to so many human service organizations like food banks and soup kitchens. We hear what's going on. And we had a shelter there yesterday that told us that they were seeing so many more people because people were being evicted. So with the economy as it is, it's not just the unsheltered, even though we definitely help a lot of those people, and we provide pet food and supplies for all the county cooling stations, the cooling centers.
Wow.
Along with, multiple food banks and soup kitchens, along with first responders, along with, the VA hospital. And
yeah, no, you're helping out. Meals on Wheels is part of the group. Tucson Fire Department. Youth on Their Own, one of my favorite organizations.
Yes, they come to Cody's almost every week.
Really?
Yeah. And so you're absolutely right. People will go hungry before they let their pet suffer. Also, for many people, their pet is their only companion.
Yes.
It's their family.
Yes.
We have people that come that say, this is the one thing in my life that loves me. And then last but not least, and very important, if people can't do the very basic, which is to feed their pet, they're more likely to surrender them to pack. And that is what the other goal that we have is to keep pets out of there.
Yes.
And, not long ago at a public forum, Monica Dangler, the director of PAC, said, yes, our numbers are high, but what is keeping our numbers as manageable as they are is the help from Cody's Friends. So by providing people with a very basic pet food, then they're able to hang on and.
We talk about a lot of living check to check here, and those big bags of dog food are expensive. And that is what it is. So sometimes it is that where families live in check to check, and these moments and these instances where, who are we feeding today? Are we feeding the dog? Are we feeding the kids? Because that is different. That is different
Totally.
too. And those families do have to sacrifice their pets. There are statistics when it comes to adoption. And I don't want to scare you with some of the numbers of how many dogs and cats go to shelters and then how many actually get out of those shelters. Right? You're adopting 2 million dogs a year. You're adopting 2.1 million cats a year, but 5 million pets go to shelters a year. And that math, unfortunately, doesn't add up. And we need to save some of these pets.
You're absolutely right. And that's another component with CODY'S friends is that when you come there, no one is ever turned away, but you can come there twice, and then you've got to show us your spay-neuter certificates.
Okay. Smart.
We've got to, you brought up a very good point with those numbers.
Yep.
And this is part of what's going on now with this huge, with the huge numbers of pets in need. So you've got to show us your spay-neuter certificates. If you don't have them, that's okay. You can let us know where your pet was fixed. Otherwise, if you just simply can't afford that right now, we will give you a low-cost, no-cost spay-neuter voucher.
Really?
We will do everything.
These are the resources.
That's right, for those resources so that, and then you can continue to come to CODY'S friends. So
that's a fantastic system. It's fair. That makes a lot of sense. You're not turning anyone away, but there are some stipulations because we're trying to control the pet population. Bob Barker talked about it for years, everyone. You remember The Price is Right. All right, we still need to spay and neuter these pets because otherwise I'm going to have more stray cats in my alley and I can't take in another. So the other thing that you're doing when it comes to this is that food donation. You said it's increased. How much are you donating per week? Because you said you're on path to do 1.5 million pounds in a year. What's that equal about per week?
Frank, the need has never been greater. And let me give you an idea. So of these 48 human service agencies that also come to CODY'S friends, they act as our satellite outpost, if you will. Mm-hmm. Because let's say you're going through a hurdle and you live out on Tanque Verde and you can't get to Flowing Wells to CODY'S friends for pet food. Well, you can go to one of the area food banks that comes to CODY'S friends for pet food in your area. So, for instance, one food bank that used to always come for 150 pounds a week of dog food, they're up 400%. Now they're at 600 pounds a week.
Oh, my goodness.
The numbers are staggering.
That's
and pet food donations, people will say, well, do you have connections with those manufacturers? Of course, through the years, we've been able to connect with some wonderful manufacturers, but nationwide, those pet food donations are at an all-time low.
No kidding.
They are. And the reason, there's multiple reasons. And we ask, different people throughout the United States, what's going on with, and we get many different answers. But for starters, there seems to be a limited supply of pet food. We're seeing some, yes, we had shortages during COVID, but even after COVID, some of the box stores had a 5-bag limit. Mm-hmm. So if you're seeing, if a manufacturer can't fulfill their retail, they're not donating.
Good point.
Nearly what they were. The other point is that, and thank you, the other point is that food prices have gone up as high as they've ever been.
Yeah, a lot. All food for everyone, human and pet food.
And see, that human food, that food we eat, the protein, the grains and all, is what's used in pet food. Mm-hmm. So, it's a perfect storm. Yeah. It's very, very difficult. And CODY'S friends receives no tax dollars. So we rely 100% on the community. To get back to your question, we are up to close to or over 20,000 pounds of pet food a month. That's just what we're giving out to people that come to our front porch and to the food banks, the soup kitchens, and that number fluctuates because CODY'S friends also provides all the pet food for the big community meals, for the Salvation Army community Christmas, Thanksgiving, the Gospel Rescue Mission community meals, all the big events. They call CODY'S friends for us to provide that pet food.
Well, and we better stock you up. And it's a good thing that we've got something coming up. So what are we doing August 25th? Because I think we're going to fill a pod with pet food.
You are. You're going to pack that pod. It's going to be, thanks to KLPX and KFMA and the Mix FM. They're going to have an event on August 25th at the Sam's Club at River and Stone. Mm-hmm. From, I believe it's 6 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay.
And you can go into Sam's Club and purchase pet food and bring it out and put it in the pod, or you can bring pet food from home. You can bring us used leashes. You can bring us used supplies. Everything you bring will go to use for a pet in need.
It's a huge event. It's a huge event.
It is.
Good reason to go out. You got to go shopping anyway, perhaps. Maybe plan your schedule so that you're in the right time, the right area to be able to donate and help these pets. Let's overpack that pod.
Oh, please.
Right? And let's thank Pods. That's a great organization that's helping us out with this, packing that pod up. And that's going to be a huge deal. Have you done an event like this in the past?
We have done some smaller pack the pod events.
Okay.
At CODY'S Friends, we have a shipping container that we, and we've had multiple pet food drives, but this is huge.
This is going to be the biggest one, I think.
This is enormous, and we could not be more grateful. And we just are so thankful to you all to get the word out and to help collect pet food, because we're just we're purchasing pet food at this point with donations being as low as they are, Frank.
Wow.
We're having to buy pet food every week. We're buying 4 to 5 pallets a week.
Wow.
And the numbers, I don't know if you saw those numbers on the website of how much was being spent.
Yes.
And how that's gone up. It's tripling every year.
I know. It's dastardly, honestly. I don't understand it. I feel that there's almost been you almost look at the increase in pet hospitals as well. And there's a lot of that because I think that an entire industry realized how much people are willing to do for their pets, how much they're willing to spend for their pets. And it became a much bigger business that it is tough because you're seeing the price increases across the board with all things. But in the pet world, I have seen it. And because my friends have pets, this is honestly, sadly, one of the reasons I don't have a pet. Because, my sister got a new cat and then there was something wrong. It cost $6,000. And she has pet insurance and it costs $6,000.
Right.
So you're watching it in every avenue when it comes to caring about your animals. It's now out there that you're caring about a family member.
You are.
Yep.
And it's important. It's very important to remember that. And you bring up a really good point. Before you adopt a pet, make sure that you can afford to feed that pet.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the very basics of keeping it alive.
Yes. Like some of these things, they eat like a horse. Like you really got to realize what it is, because you might even be thinking that way. If you're going to get a dog, maybe you do get a smaller dog because it's more economical. Mm-hmm. There's something to think about when it comes to that.
Right. Well, to give you an idea, in 2020, this was at the start of COVID, and the county came to us and said, would you be the go-to for everyone in need?
Wow.
And of course we said yes. We had already been serving the human service agencies that served people in need, but now we were helping, people directly one-on-one. And in 2020, we spent $13,000 on pet food because we still had quite a few pet food donations in the line.
Yeah.
In 2021, we spent $33,000 on pet food just for our little community, right, in southern Arizona.
Yeah.
In 2022, that number jumped to 100,000. We're tripling every year, Frank. So, and it's directly related to the need. There's so many people in need and in so many different areas. And CODY'S Friends, we turn no one away, and we do all we can to help everyone in need that, has a pet. And,
it's important. Something that you said before, and real quick on that event, if people can't make it to the event, how else can they help CODY'S Friends feed pets in southern Arizona?
My goodness, go to CODY'sFriends.org. They can donate there, and we'll go out and purchase pet food. Otherwise, they can look up where to donate, and it will show where all those donation stations are. You can drop off pet food and use supplies, Yeah.
And the other thing I always talk about, you can donate your time. How can people volunteer for CODY'S Friends?
Frank, we live for volunteers. We have 20 volunteers. That's what the basic of our organization is all about, is the volunteers. That's who makes this happen. I can't tell you how hard these people work and the compassion that they have for people in southern Arizona and people in need and their pets. And they're all volunteers at CODY'S Friends, and they've been there for years. So you can also go to CODY'sFriends.org, and there's a tab that says volunteer.
Yep.
Click that tab, send us an application, or fill out the form, and and we'll get back with you.
Yep. And the best part is I saw there's an age range on there. Kids, you can volunteer.
You can.
That's right. So kids can volunteer for your organization, which I love. You get to go pet dogs. That's a great time. Help some pets out, meet families and meet other people's little doggos, as well as, I don't know if they walk cats as much as they used to, but that's the idea. That's a joke. That's just nonsense. Who's walking a cat? But that's the idea, is that kids can get involved too. Families can volunteer as a family and have a fun day out doing fun stuff together for your great organization. And that's what I love. And also something you said a moment ago, I want to just share a story, and then I'll ask you about something, a success story. I talked to Mobile Meals of Southern Arizona, and one of their great things is how they help elderly folks stay in their home. They help them not have to go into assisted living by providing meals to these people and going there. And one of their greatest success stories that I heard at SVP Tucson at the pitch competition was how they helped this woman who was literally eating like toast for dinner, but it was so she could still feed her dog. And she said that she was finally going to have to give up her dog. And then Mobile Meals of Arizona showed up. And that was the difference. She didn't have to give up her dog because of them. And she says, this is the love I have in my life. I don't want to get, and that's so important. That's how important a pet is. We don't want to surrender these pets. We don't want these pets to starve. We want to help everyone's pets, because stranger danger is a thing, but everyone loves a different dog. That's real. Everyone loves a dog they don't know. So you got to help these dogs that you don't know and help these families with these pets.
Right. And the thing about Mobile Meals, they get all their pet food from CODY'S Friends.
Kaboom. Look at that.
The Mobile Meals staff and volunteers come to CODY'S Friends and bag their pet food. The Mobile Meals drivers that deliver that come to CODY'S Friends and pick up the Mobile Meals pet food. So we're talking about the homebound population.
Yeah.
And that's seniors, that's disabled, that's right. And so that's definitely, a big part of what we do. As far as stories, we hear wonderful stories all the time. We had a policewoman that came into CODY'S Friends, contacted us yesterday, and was really feeling down and out. She said, I have my canine partner, Hawk.
Amazing. And
Hawk was injured in the line of duty.
Oh.
And he had to retire. His injury has become, turned into arthritis. Would CODY'S Friends happen to have any doggy wheelchairs? And we said, you know what? Come on over. Let's see what we have. We had gotten some doggy wheelchairs donated.
Wow.
And we were able to. She brought Hawk, and we were able to find two that were his size, which were enormous.
Yeah.
And so then she left with those, and they'll have to have those fitted at a Loyal Companion, which is the ones that donated those chairs to CODY'S. But we have, when you donate a crate to CODY'S Friends, what you don't realize is that we're kind of the storehouse, you will. So when there's an emergency, then we're called upon. Like when the Bighorn Fire a couple years ago on Northwest, they had 3 evacuation sites for people and their families and their pets, and they called and said, "Hey, do you have any crates? We need crates." So they came and they got like 60 crates from us.
Wow.
Because they said, it's not just pets, it's not just dogs and cats. We have people bringing in rabbits and chickens and everything, anything that can fit. During Hurricane Harvey, CODY'S Friends was the Arizona spot for all animal supplies. We sent, from Phoenix and all over Arizona, they were sending in all the pet supply donations to CODY'S Friends, and then we had volunteers with trucks taking it down to Houston. So we've kind of, during the Sonoyta fire, the people started calling in the churches that were evacuated and said, "Hey, we're in here with our pets. We got our pills and our pets. We don't have leashes. We don't have food. We don't have." So we, got them food and got them everything they needed for that. So for that, really challenging time.
Yeah, people wouldn't think that you're literally got to provide 60 crates to help all these woodland critters. That's fantastic.
Right?
And again, it's just another thing that you don't think about with organizations as a resource where they saw a problem. They're like, wait, let's call them up. They might have exactly what we're looking for. And they did.
We're like the go-to for all of that because we have those 48 donation stations out, and we've been collecting all of these supplies for, years.
That's awesome.
So we keep them handy and ready when there's a need in any kind of need for pets, and people.
That's fantastic. Let me ask you one last thing, and then we'll have you back when you have another big event, because I just want to keep talking with you and talk about what you're doing, because what you're doing is important. And I know that all people need to do is hear about it, because everyone loves dogs, cats, all this stuff.
Right.
They just need to know, and that's all they're missing. So where can people find more info on your organization online? There's the website, but also where on social media?
So you want to make sure on the website that you go to CODY'SFriends.org, not Cody's Friends Rescue. Okay. We're not a rescue. They're in Dallas. We don't know them. So you go to www.CODY'SFriends.org. On Facebook, we're Cody's Friends Charity, and that separates us from the organization in Dallas. So you can go there, and it's a very active page, and you can look and see what we've been up to, and what's going on in the that we're involved with, and what's coming up, and.
Yeah. See for yourself. Check out that gallery of giving that they've got there. See all their volunteers doing all that great work, all that fun stuff that's going on. Also, check out my man, John Chehak, did the logo for Cody's Friends, which I love. He's a great local comic artist, does the Bubba Patrol. So great kids comic out there. It's super fun. So you'll recognize that because it's a great cartoon illustration of Cody and all of his friends right there. I love it. Wearing a great t-shirt. You could find that on the website as well, I'm sure. And really just, if you had one wish for your organization, what is that wish?
Boy, that is just a big question.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the bottom line is pet food, Frank.
Okay.
At the end of the day, that's really it. It's, when you donate to Cody's Friends, your dollars go to pet food. When you drop off pet food to Cody's Friends, that pet food goes directly to, people in need. So we're all about pet food.
Look at that. That's a wish that I think we can all make come true very easily. So why don't we all do it? We'll all see you on August 25th. I'll give you even more details in the recap, because today we made friends with Amber Allen, Executive Director of Cody's Friends, taking care of all these pets by getting pet food to all these pets in Arizona. Thank you for joining me today, Amber, and tell Cody I said hi.
I will. Thank you, Frank, so much.
This was Lifestyle Tucson. Bing bong bing. Woof. Time for a recap. I love talking about pets. Seems to be some of the theme of some of the guests I've been having on these days. But again, everyone loves man's best friend and cats. So if you want to get more details and get all the details that you can for getting this pet food, go to CODY'SFriends.org or find them on Facebook at facebook.com/Cody's Friends Charity. If you are a person or organization in need, please contact Cody's Community Pets at gmail.com. It is that simple to go get some pet food and get involved. You can volunteer for this great organization, and don't forget that kids can volunteer, and that sounds like a great way for a family to get involved. And again, you're petting dogs half the time, so just get to it. Remember, we're packing that pod August 25th from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. at the Sam's Club on River and Stone. Get all the details about this over on the website, and the Mix FM van team's going to be there till 2 p.m., so make sure that you're going out with a purpose. Getting some pet food August 25th. I want to thank our new friends, Cody's Friends, for joining me today. You've been listening to Lifestyle Tucson. If you're a nonprofit that would like to be on the show, email lifestyletucson@gmail.com. For more information about this program or to listen to something you may have missed, go to the Sunday Mornings page on klpx.com, kfma.com, mixfm.com, or espntucson.com. You can also subscribe on iTunes or Spotify or wherever fine podcasts are being fed treats. Follow on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Lifestyle Tucson, because I'm your BFF, Frank Powers. Toot Toot Tucson. I love you the most.